Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumen and today we're having a look at the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion Remastered. Oblivion Remastered modernizes the 2006 Game of the Year with all new stunning visuals and refined gameplay. Explore the vast landscape of Cyrodiil like never before and stop the forces of Oblivion from overtaking the land in one of the greatest RPGs ever. I can't argue there. So yeah, the game has been completely redone in Unreal Engine 5, and the remaster includes the base game, all the DLC, and even some new quests and content. It also has a brand new character creation system, which is why we are here. Seriously, the difference is kind of insane, and I'm super excited to be showing it off. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about this remaster, and what it entails and includes, you can find some links below. You can also find my links down there. That includes my Ko-fi page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest, if you want to support me and what I do. As always, there will also be timestamps. Use them, find what you're looking for, and leave satisfied. This game, much like the original, has a fantastic system that guides you through character creation as you play the tutorial. You start in chains and are immediately greeted with race selection. Then, without spoiling too much, after a little bit of gameplay, you select your birthsign, and after that, your class. You do get a chance to rethink everything and change whatever you want to change before leaving the tutorial and entering the game and world proper. So keep that in mind. In this video, we're going to look at all of it. We're starting with the races, both male and female, and their newly added origins. I'll cover a few unique details from each of the races as needed, and then do some randomization. Then we'll have a look at full customization and all the sliders available. After that, birth signs and classes, along with a custom class system. At the end, I will include a few custom creations that I made for the thumbnail, but I doubt there'll be that many. I'm going to include a quick look at each race and what they used to look like before as well, in the original game, just so it can sink in how far we've come with this one, because, I mean, just look. I don't think I need actual words to convey the insanity here. Just look. Yeah. Alright. Okay. So there you have it. Now, we begin with the Argonians. This reptilian race, well suited for the treacherous swamps of its homeland, has developed natural immunities to poisons. They can breathe underwater, and they are good at picking locks. Their two origins, which are, once again, I'm going to say new. This did not exist in the original. Arnesia and Thornmarch. You hail from Arnesia, where slavers of Morrowind are still active. The hide and seek every time there was a raid made you extremely quick and nimble. So, as you would expect, if you open the stats here, you will see that your speed and agility have been increased. Alright, I'm not going to open the stats and show you exactly what's changed on each of them, because it's quite a complex thing, and I would probably spend half the video then scrolling through here trying to find exactly what's changed. But you can generally get a good enough idea by just listening to the words and thinking about it. Then we have Thornmarsh. Your birth region is called the Jewel of the East, but behind the nickname lies a darker reality. You dabbled in magic just to survive, and your quick wits allowed you to live until this day. It's pretty cool. I love the idea of just adding another layer to character creation, adding another layer of both lore and also specialization to it. It's sick. So, as I mentioned, for each of these races, we're going to jump in. I'm going to show you what both the male and female look like. That's the one. And that's the other. And then I'm going to show you a few bits and pieces that are unique to them. Alright? We'll do the full customization. You could skip to that if you want to, but I'm just giving you a quick peek at what you can do with the races, what's available, and so on and so forth. Firstly, the age slider. This time around, on the Argonians, you can see it bleaches your scales a little bit. You can see that the folds hang a little looser. The lizard looks older, and it's kind of well done. Then there is the skin tone slider, which basically just changes your tone from a cooler one to a warmer one. But this is, I want to say, kind of pointless, because on the Argonians, what you can do is you can jump into your tone section over here to your skin, and then you can pick any color you like to layer over the skin tone, and you can do whatever. You can make your lizard blue, pink, green, red, anything you like. So just know that the skin tone over here is just an extra to put on top of that, or to put below that, or to put alongside that. Alright. Then we're going to have a look at growths quickly, and then we'll randomize. So for the growths, this is their hair. one of the best improved sections of this entire character creation system. Just the Argonians in general, plus these amazing extras you can throw on their heads. You can change the length of any of them as well, which is kind of cool to see them dynamically shift around like that. It just looks phenomenal. You know, these guys, they really breathed new life into this race. It is super impressive. And I think I'm going to say this, I'm going to echo this sentiment at the end in the outro, where I firmly believe the non-human races benefited the most from this. And I love it. I really love it, because they deserve it, you know? They really do. It's pretty cool. Check those massive horns out, dude. That looks so cool. Look at that. Think of the carrying space. And the feathers. Oh, very cool. Oh my god. I didn't even know that was possible. Like, I had not seen that before as an option. Have you guys seen it before? I don't even remember this from ESO. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Now, I go back. I do this. I do this. I show you very briefly what they have here, because they got some, like, curtains and some extra jewelry and stuff like that hanging around here that the males don't have. I'll go through it relatively quickly, though, so you can just have a quick peek. I believe it's only one or two different ones, but yeah, I mean, there's still some variety between the males and the females. I love the feathers, man. It's really nicely done. There you go. Nice. Now, it doesn't matter which one we do first. We'll go on here and we'll randomize. You can see a couple of examples of what this race can look like. Very cool. I like the fact that the scale color changes so significantly. I like the shape changes too. I mean, your character is morphing a little bit as you click the randomize button. They do most definitely contain things a little bit when you randomize here. So they don't go all out with the randomization. It's not a full randomize, which is a pity, but at the same time it makes sense, because I feel that this has always just been a button that game companies, the devs and stuff, add as like a quick start option, where you like boom, 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 boom. Oh, that guy's sick. Let's go. Okay? So it's for the people that don't want to jump into the hundreds of sliders to try and make their character look good. But it does give you a good idea of all the colors that you can have and some of the shape changes and all the rest. So yeah, there you go. I like it. And that is it for the Argonians. Just a quick peek at what you can do with them. Next up, Breton. In addition to their quick and perceptive grasp of spellcraft, even the humblest of Bretons can boast resistance to magical energies. They are particularly skilled at summoning and healing magic. The two origins are sistries. As a child, you were always spending time on the docks of one of the islands, gaining some money by helping merchants carrying their goods and learning from their adventures. Pretty cool. And High-Rock. Being from High-Rock, you were raised in the homeland of the Bretons. Going through all the great cities of the province made you quick on your feet. That's your two options right there. And then if I were to show you the male versus female, I like them. As a starting point, I think that this is your human starting point. If that makes sense. It's just the most human of the humans, I suppose. Them and maybe I'd say the Redguard. Let's wait till we get there. I'll show you. Sliders. There's an age slider here. I don't particularly like the way they've done the age slider here compared to the original. I think that, you know, on the Argonians, it looks a little better, but on this, I feel it looks a little worse. They've just applied like a prune texture to your character's face, and you will notice that there's barely any movement. The jowls don't get saggier or bigger or anything like that. The face doesn't droop, the nose, the ears, things like that don't get bigger. Whereas, I want to point out that we did have that in the original game. So they've actually removed a little bit here from it. It's not a grievous wrongdoing, because I do not think that there are many people that go for older characters, but what they've done is they've replaced that massive and impactful system with one that is just surface level, which to me is a little disappointing, but at the same time, it's whatever, you know? It's whatever. So the skin tone, it just takes it from lighter to darker. This is an improvement. It's just better. No two ways about it. And then the same over here. Slightly more movement around the neck on the male, which is nice. but still, they don't really look much older. They just look like they have something weird going on with their skin. Now, for these guys, much like the Argonians, I'm going to jump in over here, and I'm going to show you the hairstyles that are available, just because there is some unique stuff here. Now, on both male and female, you, for the most part, have the same hairstyles, but I feel like it still needs to be shown off, because there are one or two styles that perhaps stand out, and yes, there's something special coming up on males. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying it's special, but I think for an Oblivion player, it is rather something. You'll see in just a moment. You'll see. And there are some absolutely fantastic new styles here. You know, I complained very recently in my Oblivion video about the fact that there were just not that many short styles, and I've complained about the fact that the number of hairstyles just wasn't great enough. They've definitely remedied that, and I believe that there's now more than enough good stuff to go around, like 100%. Now my issues come in with the color of the hair. it's like that's also been nerfed a little bit, not a lot. And then finally you can also change the length of the hair, but it has been nerfed a little bit. We'll get into that when we get into the customization. So that's it for type 1. Let's go on to the males quickly, and let me show you what's going on here with the hair. Very cool. I like the new short styles. I think they look excellent. And the next part is just going to blow your mind. Once again, if you're an Oblivion player, I hope you're sitting down for this one. I do like that the tonsure hairstyle, this one over here, the Friar Tuck, made its way over to female characters, because it's a pretty big deal, you know? It's a pretty big deal. It's a huge win for inclusivity. But then we did take a step back with not giving the ladies beards, so can't win them all, right? Can't win them all. And that's okay, man. I'm happy with it. I think that the hairstyles are so phenomenal looking right now that no one's gonna care. I also like that there is, there's an abnormally large amount of receding hairlines here, and I mean, that's good, because it's life, you know? Not everyone has the biggest, fullest head of hair, and that's okay. Now, sit down. Brace. There are beards. There are beards in this game. Real beards. Real beards. Not just like a weird color texture sort of smush along your face. It's actually a beard with hair. Now, granted, some of the beards I'm not 100% sold on just yet, but like for the most part, this is actually really cool. Like these are decent looking beards. They look good in this game. You can also do a mustache, which is just excellent. Like, look at it. Look at that. That's a good looking human male. Man. Clap with me. That's a win. That right there is an absolute win. Love it. Love to see it. Excellent. All right. Now we're going to go back to type 1. We're going to randomize a little bit and show you what you can do. And I'm also going to show you how hard it is to make a good-looking character. I'm so sorry. It's tough. It's just still tough. You know, Oblivion, that was like, it was torture. You know, because you were always right off. It's like there was just one little thing. Like one of your eyes was off center. Like your cheeks just would not stay contained. Like that chin just popped out a little too far. There was just something wrong always. But, you know, in this game, it's also just, it seems really tough to make your character the way you maybe picture it in your mind. But there's a quick look at what the Bretons can look like. Let's do the males quickly. I was a little disappointed to see that they did not include the facial hair in the randomization here, because I feel like there's a lot that can randomize with the facial hair, and then like having a beard, you know, it could change the way you look, for the better or worse. But like, there's no beards in here. I don't know why. I don't know why. But there's a quick look at the two of them, and yeah, to be honest, I feel they look good. It's just no two ways about it. They look good. Better, at least. Next up, the Dark Elves, also known as the Dunmer, in their homeland of Morrowind. The Dark Elves are noted for their skilled and balanced integration of the sword, the bow, and destruction magic. They are resistant to fire and can summon an ancestral ghost for aid. The origins on these dudes right here are Vanderfell. You are a true child of Vanderfell. Amongst the volcanic wasteland, you were taught that resilience is the greatest Dunmer quality. Or mainland. As a Dunmer on the mainland, you grew among all kinds of traders. You learned all there was to know about negotiations and how to make people react the way you need them to. So you obviously can see that this is a speechcraft one. You can obviously see that this is a resistance one. Maybe an endurance one. It all makes sense. All of it. Now, we'll start over here on the females, and I will show you what it looks like when you age them. In my opinion, still just not as great as it did look in the original, but it's okay. It's passable. Skin tones, it takes it from the murky green to the cooler blue tone. And once again, this is not the only way to color your character. I'm going to just say that you can also use the skin tones over here. And it's the same on the males, in case you were wondering. I do believe, once again, that the aging looks better on the males than on the females. But there you go. For the skin tones, as I said, you can just use this. And you can throw any color you want on them. But let's move on to the hair, because the elves have their own selection of hair. They have quite a lot actually going for them. I hope you guys can see the hair as I'm going through it right here. I hope so. Because I struggle to see past the perpetual scowl on this character's face. Just elf things, right? Just elf things. They all look so mean. Like, okay. God, we haven't even started the game yet. Come on. What's there to be? Okay, I guess we're in a prison cell. I'm sorry. Okay, I take it back. Also, I also want to just point out one more thing. The hair color here is just not doing us any favors. So, like, as a quick example, I would have gone with, like, you know, one that suits the Dunmer better, something like this, or a darker one, you know, just to once again just push the idea of what they are as a race. But still, that's on you. You can fiddle around with that. I want to point out that we lost a couple of the elvish styles on the Dunmer here. I will check when we get to the high elves and the wood elves if they are still present there. But there were some more up styles. There were some more courtly styles that are unfortunately not here anymore. Don't know if that's intentional. Have no idea. But it is something that I noticed. When we jump over to the male character over here, we'll have a quick peek. I will show you what's up. They have, as you can see, this unique mohawk. I love this mohawk, by the way, how it goes around to the back, and then it has this little, like, it's like a mullet hawk, but, like, not. It's weird. It's really weird. But I like it. Then the regular mohawk as well. See, like, I'm not sure why they gave them what you could consider the afro, but they took away the courtly styles that most definitely suit the race so much more. I'm not entirely sure what they were thinking with that. I'll tell you, I think it might not have been intentional. This is very cool, by the way. That's a main. And that's one of my favorite styles from the original. There's the up style. Aha! It's not exactly the same, but it's... Yeah, okay. This is excellent. Wow. Start up my Goku cosplay playthrough. Making him a dark elf, however, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Probably not the right choice. But yeah, needless to say, there's a good selection. And needless to say, it's quite similar to the females. Quite similar to what we saw on the Bretons as well. And it's going to be like that as we go through here. Facial hair. This is exactly the same as on pretty much all the other humanoid characters. But let's just be real for a second here, guys. We don't care if it's the same. We have facial hair now. And that is a win. And we take those wins. We do. Now, we go back to body type 1, and we give it a quick randomize. I think if you sit here for a good 15, 20 hours, you might be able to come up with something decent using the randomization system. I believe. So, one thing to note, cheekbones and brow, always incredibly prevalent on the Dark Elves. And, like, it is a blessing as much as it is a curse. Because it's really hard to work with it. I do believe, however, that there are some faces that you can take. As an example, I would say you can take this face and make it pretty beautiful. If you straighten the nose out a little bit, pull the mouth in a tiny bit, and perhaps just tinker with the brows, you'll have something rather nice. But that's a quick look at what's up on female. Now we're going to do male and show you. I believe the males look better in general when you randomize here. The more pronounced features just end up looking more natural on them, and I dig that. You know, there's just nothing else to say. It looks good on them. Once again, however, no beard in the randomization, which is a little bit of a pity. It's a bit of a pity. It sure is. All right. That's that. I just waved my hands in the air to tell you it's done. We're moving on. High Elves. Also known as the Altmer. In their homeland of the Somerset Isle, the High Elves are exceptionally gifted in the arcane arts. They also boast resistance to illness. However, they are somewhat vulnerable to fire, frost, and shock. Their origins are Oridon. Born on the Isle of Oridon, you were proud to live on the first island of the Somersets. There, you spent countless hours swimming in the pristine waters. That's all you did. You just swam. Nothing else, just swam. Somerset Isle. You grew up among the great towers of Eleanor that nearly touched the sky. You spent countless hours climbing and navigating the sunlit streets of the Somerset capital. So it's a little vague. I understand that these ones might be a little tough to like sort of pass, but you will see it sort of, if you just think about it a little bit, it sort of makes sense what you get there. Like as an example, that'll probably give you athletics. You know, with the climbing, and it'll switch your stats around a little bit. I'm sorry, it's just a little too much if I had to go through every single stat change in the entire game. But that's a quick look at the High Elves and where they came from. For the body types, here's our female, and here's our male. I think they look pretty good, very faithful to the originals. I'm a fan of it. For the aging, I think that much like the Dark Elves, it looks alright. I believe the males look a little better when they age, once again. And then the skin tone, it takes it, honestly, from what I would consider like a nice light tanned, sort of on the verge of being like towards yellow side, to something that's somewhat slightly more green or brown. It's difficult to pass this, but again, you can change this using your skin tone options in the customization, right? So it's always there. Now, for the hair, I am curious about these just because we had a look at Dark Elves a moment ago, and I'd like to see what's up. See, there's the courtly up style that I was talking about. That's at least one of them. Not sure why the Dark Elves don't have that. I guess it makes sense that they gave it to the High Elves. I guess it makes sense. I was also missing this style. It's quite a nice one. A lot of crossover, needless to say, and a lot of hairstyles that look like they come straight off the head of Jude Law. He just has this iconic widow's peak, you know? And it is so easy to call any hairstyle that you see that looks similar a Jude Law hairstyle, because he wears it best. He does wear it well. Like, come on, needless to say. No beards on the ladies here, but lots of good hairstyles that you can make shorter or longer. And with that said, let's have a peek at the males. You also note that on the elves, there's always a slightly larger selection of the longer hairstyles, which is cool. It's nice to see. Because it's more of an elvish thing. I guess they live longer, so they have more opportunities to grow their hair out. It's a why not situation. But I'm also quite happy that they managed to really... They kept the heart and soul of the races intact with the look and feel that you get when you jump in. It's basically, you can tell. You wouldn't have to have someone tell you, oh, this is the High Elf, right? No, you can tell. If you played Oblivion, you can tell. When you jump on here, I'm not going to say it's like iconic. I do think some of the races are iconic, but it's close. It's close. There you go. Let us take a mohawk And then let's look at the facial hair. Unfortunately, once again, same. Not much different here. Some questionable choices for the beards. It would be cool if there was more, but I am not about to complain. As I mentioned, the beards before, well, they were definitely nothing to write home about. Or if you were going to write home about them, well, it's not the kind of thing you'd want to repeat. Looks good, to be honest. It looks really good. Crisp, you know? Crisp. Now we're going to jump onto body type 1 again, and we're going to randomize a little bit and see if there's anything we can see here. Let's see if there's any characters we feel are worthy of selection. I feel the elves, they suffer from a weird caricature syndrome, where it's like they take the proportions just a step or two too far. You know? Where I feel the more human races, they are slightly less guilty of that kind of thing. Which is, again, one of those iconic things that you can sort of recognize about them, right? So it's not bad. It's just something you need to know when you jump in here. Yeah. Pretty cool. I mean, also needless to say, some of them do look a little weird. You know, you can see when they've got the balance just wrong. Let's say that. Next up, we have the Imperials. Yes, this is the proud race that is first to be selected, because it's always the one that they have right at the start when you jump in. This is what this is actually specifically the character that you see when you first jump in here. Imperials. Native of the civilized cosmopolitan province of Cyrodiil. They've proved to be shrewd diplomats and traders. They are skilled with heavy armor and in the social skills, and tend to favor warrior classes. The origins, which are once again brand new, are Nibene. You are true Imperial, born in the heart of the Empire. The number of cities and their size led you to travel hastily. And then we have Calovia. Calovia inhabitants such as yourself are known for their autonomy, including toward the rest of the Empire. You inherited the willfulness of your forebearers. Sorry, that was a tough one to read for some reason. The willfulness, you say. All right. That's the male character. And this right here is the female one. Honestly, they look good. There's no two ways about it. They just look good. The male character specifically. Like, can I be honest? You just throw a beard on this guy and you're good to go. Right? You just throw a beard on him and you are good to go. If long hair isn't your thing, you throw a beard on, you make the hair a bit shorter, and you're good to go. It's just a good looking character. So, the age slider on these ones, again, like the others, it's okay, but nothing too special, I would say. It is a nice sort of extra that it affects your whole body now, but still, I'm not a huge fan. The complexion slider, it's good. You can't go too pale, too dark on these guys. You can also not go too pale here, but you can make your skin any color you want with the skin tone options. So, on the male side of things, here you go. Skin tone. There you are. Excellent. Now, we're going to jump on through to the hair. These guys are going to have the most basic and straightforward selection of hair. Because they are the humans. Well, I mean, I said that about Breton too. I feel like all the humans are actually the humans. It's kind of a funny situation, right? Except the Nord. The Nord aren't the humans. They are the inhuman humans, because those guys are tall as heck. And, well, they got the nice pale skin and the nice blue eyes. And I actually, funny enough, it's like I've got this picture in my mind of the Nords when I'm not thinking of Skyrim, because in Skyrim it's like it's obvious, right? But like when I'm not thinking of Skyrim, I always have this picture in my mind of like Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn with the nice red hair and the freckles and stuff. I know it's not right. I know. Don't say it. I know. But I always want to make them like that, because they're supposed to have blonde hair, blue eyes, right? I don't know. It's not like Aloy at all. But I keep making mine like Aloy just because it works. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Now, that's the hairstyles for the females. Let's go on to the males quickly. Let's have a quick peek here, see what's available. As I was saying, this is just like a fantastic starting point. You look like Jaime Lannister, right? It's a good start for Jaime Lannister. And you can just throw a little beard on here. You can just, there you go. See, there's the hairstyle. You make the hair blonde and you're good to go. Right on. It's a why not? Looks good to me. So if you're indecisive, it's not a bad port of call right here. Because for real, when you throw the beard on here, it changes everything. They've got nice square jaw lines for the beard, so they can support the beard well. And yeah, overall it just looks good. Mustaches. So yeah, I mean, the beards, nice. The character, nice. All nice. What we're going to do now is we're going to randomize quickly. Let's check what we can get on these ones. I've noticed that on some of them, it's just downhill. You know, when you start randomizing, it just gets worse from the initial selection that you had. But, you know, sometimes you get characters that look pretty good. Sometimes something pops up there that you are actually just quite happy with. Yeah, man. I like it. Alright. Males. Only criticism, once again, is that I'd love to see the beards included here. I like that they have the age playing against them here. Or for them. I mean, sometimes having the age slider maxed out looks better. And I love that they're using all the eye options and they're throwing makeup on there and stuff like that. But obviously, having the beards on would be quite a boon, I think. It's whatever, though. It's whatever. There you go. It's a quick look at the Imperials. Now, we're going to move on to, I feel, one of the races that is tied for most improved. You'll see why I say that in just a moment as I click on it, when I show you the before and after. It's nuts. It's nuts. The Khajiit are just looking phenomenal. Like, absolutely phenomenal. It's really, really cool. And they have some interesting new, unique options as well that we're going to have a look at. So here we go. Yeah. Khajiit, hailing from the province of Elsewhere. They are intelligent, quick, and agile. They make for excellent thieves due to their natural agility and unmatched acrobatic skill. All Khajiit can see in the dark. The origins are Anaquina. The harsh region where you lived and trained hardened your body and taught you how to defend yourself with your bare fists or any weapon you could find. Alright. That does sound useful, to be honest. Then we have Palatine. Your parents lived in Palatine, and your childhood memories are filled with playing and running around in the jungles or on the pristine beaches. Well, that sounds quite idyllic. Good God. Wow. So yeah, that's the Khajiit right there. Let's look at the females. Oh, they look fantastic. Damn, dude. They look so good. So good. Let's look at the age slider here. It just gives you a little grey around the snooty there. Yeah, the tone changes a little bit. And then the complexion, that will just make it a little darker, basically. It's the same for the male ones. Not too big. Your bigger changes, I'll show you. They're coming up right now. So, in our fur tab over here, we're going to go through the style and the color for these guys, because there's actually quite a lot here. But they are most improved to me because of how much better everything looks, including the hair. It's pretty phenomenal what they've done. And these guys are literally made of hair, you know? so it's quite an important part of what makes them them. There we go. And then you can also just change the length. Not too much that changes there, but you can. Now, I'm just going to go back quickly and show you the other ones before I show you the next part, because they have some unique styles here, and I really like their faces. Man, they're so cute. Like, I'm just saying, in contrast to most of the human-looking races, these ones, it's like, that's just beautiful, man. That's just beautiful. Like, there's just no two ways about it. There's nothing to criticize here. However, when we start randomizing, there might be some stuff to criticize. We'll just reserve judgment until we get there, right? But still, this does look pretty good, and I'm a fan. I'm going to leave it bald for now, so that I can quickly show you what I want to do with this. These guys have patterns now. How cool is that? So you get to put patterns on. Now, for the color of the pattern, I'm going to put it on something a little brighter so we can see, well, in this case, darker, so we can see what's going on. And it's pretty cool, you know? Can I close this window? There we go. So you can have little spots It's sort of like, and I'm sorry, I don't know, cheetah or leopard. This is more like leopard or jaguar or something. And you can have the stripes, and then you can have the splotches. And, I mean, let me just say, this is already far and away a massive improvement to what they had in the original, because none of this was there. You couldn't do any of this stuff. Well, technically you could try and make it yourself, but, like, it wasn't the same. So I really like it, and I think that they've done a phenomenal job with it. And again, with your fur color, like, legit. I mention this every time. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. And it's excellent. Like, it's just excellent. Look at that. Super cool. Look at that. It is. Yeah, don't answer that. It is super cool. Now, let's randomize. You will notice that they do not go crazy with the skin tones. Much like on the others. You know, on the other races, they didn't do that either. As I mentioned, you can go anywhere. You can make your characters green, pink, purple. But they don't show that off in randomize. It's sort of one of those things where they limit it. One of the nice things that you will notice as we go through here is they do have the skin patterns. And the eyes are so much more visible on the Khajiit. They're so big and colorful, you know, that it's quite a pleasure to look at. Especially on the females. Less so on the males, but especially on the females. I was a little disappointed that we couldn't change the beards on the males, but I believe that they look good enough, and again, they do probably win the award for most improved in this character creator. Yeah. There you go. Alright, next up, the Nord. Citizens of Skyrim, they are tall and fair-haired people, strong and hardy. Nords are famous for their resistance to cold. They are highly talented warriors. Again, one of those faces that is just perfect. Like, you don't really need to do much on this. Your origins are Western and Eastern. You lived in the west of Skyrim, a rugged environment filled with rough terrain and dangerous beasts. You are prepared to survive in even the most challenging climates. In East, either due to extreme snowstorms, the College of Mages, or simple stubbornness, the people of Eastern Skyrim, such as you, are known for their tenacity and resourcefulness. Alright, that's very vague, but there you go. Female looks fantastic here. This is the one that I immediately gave red hair and freckles and called Aloy. I'm sorry, I did it. But there you go, the age slider. Let's throw that on quickly. You can see what Granny Aloy looks like. Complexion, she gets a bit darker. Same for the males. There's the older one. Complexion, he gets a bit darker too. There you are. Now for the hair. They have some unique styles, which is cool. It's nice to see. Not a lot, but some. I do think that they kind of... I'm not going to say they washed things out a little bit, but they kind of took away some of the color that could otherwise have been there by always presenting you with this, like, dusty, blondie brown, the light brown, mousy brown type color on the hair. Almost all of them have the same color. They could have given them some more. And it's actually one of my complaints when we get into the full customization. One of my complaints is that you, unfortunately, can't go all that black with your hair. You can't go all that dark. It might actually just be the lighting and the lighting system, but it feels to me like you can't go that black. And it's a bit of a pity. I believe it kind of holds it all back a little bit. But again, it might have just been the race that I was looking at when I did that. I don't know. We'll see. That's it for specifically the females. Let's jump onto the males quickly. I think that their hair is almost exactly the same. I don't think that there's much different here. You will note that there was one braided style that's not here now. That was just on the females. And we have some shorter styles here that are specifically just on the male and not on the females either. So it is at least something that is reciprocated. It's a 1-for-1. There you go. Facial hair. One would think they would have some unique beards. They do not, however. Even though they probably rock these ones better than some of the others. But there's nothing unique here. I always end up on this one where I feel perhaps that might suit them better. I don't know. It's a good beard. I mean, it's a big beard. Very nice. Now, we're going to jump on to Type 1 again, and we're going to randomize. Let's see what we got. I believe this is one of those where it is just downhill. Like, it's almost impossible to get something as good as that initial character we had there. Almost. Not saying it's impossible. It is statistically possible. It's just quite hard. So, as we go through here, you will note that it is quite hard to drop onto something that looks as good as that character that we started on. And with that said, hey man, that's cool. Just start on that one and make your character look like a Who from Whoville. Amazing. Just start on that one. Another Who from Whoville. What's with these noses? Alright. So, yeah, if you're just not sure, then start on the one that they have and just customize this. Because sometimes it is a good choice. You can go to some pretty extreme extremes while customizing here, so yeah. They really like doing stuff with the nose, don't they? Like, I'm just looking at it right now, and the nose is always like a really strong point. Either way, it's a really strong point. Okay, so that's it for the Nord. We're going to move on now to one of the other most improved, the Orcs. The people of the Hrothgarian and Dragontail Mountains. Orcish armorers are prized for their craftsmanship. Orc troops in heavy armor are among the finest in the Empire, and are fearsome when using their berserker rage. That's the exact same description as in the main game. It's, for the most part, they use the same ones for all of them. Your origins are stronghold. Your fate was decided when you were born. As a member of a stronghold, you would serve your chieftain with honor and would make the orcs proud. Your charisma and resilience were honed for when you'd serve. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I see it. So, Orsinium. You're proud to have been raised in Orsinium, where you trained to be a versatile warrior, as versatile as possible. As such, you are better with magic than most other orcs. Alright. There we go. That's the male body type. And that's the female body type. And funny enough, that was the male body type, and that was the young one. I was sitting here thinking that's a grandpa, but no, that's actually the young one. And this is the female, as I mentioned. So on the orcs specifically, we're gonna have some interesting hairstyles, some different ones. That's what it looks like aged. Here's the complexion, kind of nice. I like those two different shades that they have here. On him, there's the aged one. Here's the complexion. Let's have a quick look at the hair. I like this face. I think this is actually kind of cool, yeah. You could probably set something up with this that's not too shabby. Once again, however, the curse of the brown hair strikes, and it strikes true at the heart of this whole matter right here. Not a massive fan of the fact that they keep giving us the brown hair. But hey, look, because I might be alone in this, but I feel orcs would look better with like grey or white hair or black hair or even like blue or green hair or something. You know, just some color, not brown. Because the brown and the green together, that's just gross, dude. That's a swamp. So you don't need that. Now, for the orc males, let's have a quick peek here. Pretty cool. There you are. That's it. I like the headband. I think it suits this guy. Facial hair. Much of the same. They legitimately just have the same beards as on the others, and they just sort of stretch it around this massive chin of the orc. And I mean, like, honestly, yeah, it looks good. It looks good. There's nothing to complain about here. Like, it just looks good. Especially the mustaches. They're kind of large, you know? They're kind of large. And that is basically it. We are going to jump back over here quickly, and we're going to randomize, and we're going to look at what's possible on them. Hey, that's kind of nice. Wow. A little scary, but kind of nice. I'm seeing a lot more in the sort of chin and jowls department here. They seem to go heavy on it for the orcs. Yeah, they do. They do. That one had some really nice blue eyes. They make them slightly weightier. Ooh, that's really cool as well. Wow. Nice. Nice. But I mean, like, the improvement here between how the orcs used to look and how they look right now is just staggering once again. It's nuts. It is nuts. not a huge fan of the fact that they made the male orcs look like they're all old. Not a huge fan of that. But overall, yeah, I mean, it still looks pretty good. It's alright. Okay, so next up, the Redguard. Hey! The most naturally talented warriors in Tamriel. In addition to their cultural affinities for many weapons and armor styles, they are also hardy in constitution and have a natural resistance to disease and poison. Our two origins is Dragontail Mountains. Your uprising under the shadow of the mountain peaks was a happy one. Immersed in Redguard customs, you developed charm, wit, and the ability to turn a conversation around. And then we have Alikir Desert. As a child in the sands of the Alikir Desert, your education revolved around martial might. You are the prime example of why Redguards are the best warriors. Yeah, okay, I mean, sure, if you say so. That's your male character. That's your female. There you go. Age. Slightly less pronounced than some of the others, even if you go to the end. Skin tone. I like how dark they let you go with this. And it looks natural as well. Big fan. There you go. Alright. So, for the hair. Definitely some unique styles here. I'm a fan of what they've done with them. They look so much better. I mean, I say so much better. There were basically none of them in the original game. Like, there was like 2 unique hairstyles on Redguard or something like that, and I didn't really feel them. I'm feeling this. This is beautiful. This is really nice. Very cool. And you'll see from here on down, it's basically all the same ones that we saw in the other races, which you can use here easily enough. But those initial few, the braids, the dreads, all of that stuff, it just looks so nice. It just looks so nice. Like I think it'd be difficult not picking this hairstyle, right? Switch over quickly. For the males, we have slightly less in terms of unique styles, which I always find a little disappointing, because, like, I don't think that there's a genetic reason to have or not have a certain hairstyle, right? Sure, when it comes to receding hairlines and, like, stuff like that, sure, yeah, I get it, okay? But, like, when it comes to having long hair and braids or dreads or any of those other styles that are, I guess, culturally, in this case, appropriate, there's no reason for a male not to have the same ones as the female. It's just a ridiculous notion and concept, and should be abolished entirely. So, I mean, you have a few here, but, like, it's kind of ridiculous that you only have a few here. Anyway, facial hair. I think these guys look good. Regardless, they look really good. There you go. That's it. Now, let's randomize, see what's up, see if it gets better or worse. Yeah, I mean, some of these look okay, but I think that generally it's just going to get worse. I'm not sure what that says about the devs. It's like, I'm trying to decide, did they figure out how to make good-looking characters? Is it something known to them? I think so, because they have actually got some really nice presets here. Alright. Let's move on to the males. Yeah, I mean, some of these look really good. Not about to complain about these. With that said, however, our final race, the Wood Elves, the clanfolk of the Western Valen Woods, also known as the Bosmer. Wood Elves are nimble and quick, making them good scouts and thieves. And there are no finer archers in all of Tamriel. Their ability to command simple creatures is also well known. The origins are Grath Wood. It's actually Grot Wood, if I'm not mistaken. You spent your childhood in Grot Wood, near the region, devastated by Molag Bal. The foul energies still linger there, and your resilience grew amidst the danger. And Reaper's Marsh. The border region that you saw that saw you grow is plagued by anger and resentment after centuries of war. You quickly learned how to soothe people and avoid unnecessary conflicts. That's good. That sounds useful. For the body types, that's your female. The perpetual scowl is there, and that's your male. Still looks a little bit like Sting, which is nice. Make it look more like Sting by making it older. There we go. And then the skin tone, darker. Pretty cool. Quite faithful to the original, I'd say. There's the age. And here's the complexion. Yeah, why not? It looks okay. Now we're going to look at the hair quickly. They have an interesting combination of hairstyles here, but it is mostly the same as the high and dark elves, if I'm not mistaken. Mostly the same. Which is to say it's some of the more boring hairstyle selections, because I feel, again, like the Redguard had the most interesting ones. They had the nicest unique styles. I'll say that. I mean, if we now not count in the Orcs and the Argonians and the Khajiit, obviously. I'm not even sure that these Wood Elves actually have anything unique to them. I'm not 100% certain. I don't think they do. But, yeah, I mean, some of these styles are okay. They look alright. For the males, we'll jump in here. I was actually under the impression that they might have gone the route where, like, some of the elves cannot have facial hair. But it does not seem like they did that. Specifically for this remaster. Because, I mean, they could have. Considering the elves might be, let's just say, built different. But also because they didn't really have facial hair in the original. No one had facial hair in the original. These are excellent hairstyles. Love it. There we are. The length slider again. For the facial hair, it is much the same. There we go. And the mustaches. They look good. Indeed. Now we're going to jump onto the randomize quickly. You guys can see what they look like. Get a little idea of what you can do. I feel it does go downhill. I feel like the randomize in this specific case is just not that great. Let's try the males out. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Like, the thing with this is that I feel if you find a good facial structure that you are a fan of, then you can jump onto it, you can pull the age down, the complexion any way you want, and then you can customize a few small things, and you can just be good to go, you know? And that's cool. That's fine. But it's still one of those things where I feel the originals that they give you when you first select the race are quite strong start-in points. Now, with that said, and with that done, we're going to move on to the next part of this video. What I want to do now is I want to look at the actual customization. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to be jumping in on an Imperial male character. That's it. Because the customization options are the same on both male and female. The sliders, at least. We're going to go to the body tab over here. I'm going to show you what the two body types look like, just so that you know, so that you can remember. Then I'm going to show you what the age slider does, so that you can keep that in mind as we go through here. It makes your character look, well, older. And the skin tones, right? There you go. Then we're going to move on to the head tab. In here, we have a whole lot of sliders. I feel there are actually too many. There are a lot that are unnecessary that could have been squeezed into one. I feel like they should not have just taken it one-to-one over from Oblivion. But at the same time, I'm not about to complain about more instead of less. So, like, it's like a weird sitch, right? Overall, it's fine. It's just very hard to use. And you will see that as I go through here. Every time you move something around, you are afraid that you've messed everything up for all eternity. You're afraid that you're about to create a hideous amalgamation. So, let's go through here, let's see what's available, let's see what we can do, and let's just look at all the options individually and see how far you can push it, and so on and so forth, right? If you want to see how far you can really push it, I suppose you should look at my custom creations. There's a timestamp for that, but let's get started, let's do this thing. Let's begin. First up, we have the brow options. It's great. It's great. It's great. It looks so much better. It looks so much better because with these simple sliders, just these three, you can go from being sort of empathetic, concerned, to angry. Yeah. You can go from being stern to curious. You can do so much with it. You know, there can be sadness in your eyes. And it's phenomenal. Like, it's really cool that they managed to do this. That they managed to bring this over from the original and have it still look so good. For the cheeks, here's where things get a little crazy. This is where you can really add some meat to the bones if you want to. Or some bones to the bones if you want to. Look at how low you can bring the cheekbones basically down all the way. All the way. God damn, look at that. Into the mouth. It's kind of nuts. And again, this is one of those stitches where if you pull it all up to the top, yeah, I mean, you can do it. And same for the other side. You can do it. Like, it's just, woof. I'm putting it all back sort of somewhere close to the middle here. I don't want to mess it up too much, otherwise you're not going to be able to see the changes as I make them. For the chin, it's a little bit more difficult to see because there's about 100 sliders here. Not as many sliders as there's for the nose. The nose is just nuts. The nose is nuts. It's a nose, but it's also nuts. That's a pretty significant slider. Look at the size of that chin, dude. Wow. Disney Prince chin. Good God. And again, if you pull this all the way, look at that. Woof. It's American Dad. Yeah. Eyes. Nice. I like that you can make them bigger. You can even tilt them. And then move them in and out. This is your overall face that you can move around. Actually, very underrated section here. Big deal. This can sort of do quite a lot. This slider specifically is very nice if you want to put a little bit of weight on or take a little bit of weight off. Same for this one. And same for the width one. Forehead. You just make yourself smarter. It's as easy as that. Yeah. More room for the brain. Excellent. Excellent. The jaw. We gotta turn this. Yeah, there we go. Width on the jaw. That actually just looks really good. I mean, it's not like it's like actually you're like on Brad Pitt levels there. Not quite at David Coulthard. You can do the jowls, like the neck and stuff is like just, this is nuts as well. I really like how they actually let you do this. It's really nice. Once again, for inclusivity's sake, let people be who they want to be. You know? For the mouth, there's quite a lot of options here. Quite a lot that works with the lips. This is something that was not in the original, where you can set it to happy and sad. You can go up and down here. In and out. You can tilt it up and down. There you go. The overbite, underbite, size. Then for the lips, you can inflate them. You can make the whole mouth bigger or smaller, and you can pucker. It's cool. Now the nose. This is where they really went overboard. So, up and down, in and out. Shorter and taller, even more up and down. And this is like, look at that, dude. It's a big deal. Then the bridge. And like, you can see here, as you're going through this, firstly, there's a ton of options. And secondly, you can move quite a lot around. You really can. And I'm gonna point out to you as we go through here quickly. I'm gonna give you the example that you want, because you do want the example. I know you do. I will give it to you. So that's basically it, right? But it's not it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull every single one of these, because this is what I would have done for my characters at the end. I'll pull every one to the end, and I'll show you what it would look like. Because this is, like, we all do this, right? It's just it's a rite of passage, basically, that you have to go through when you are making a character in a game like this. is you have to just... Wow, what is going on? Oh my god, it's like a butt with a face. But the face is getting smaller as I drag these up. Oh man. Oof, look at those lips. Very nice. Oof, the nose as well. Looking handsome. Looking pretty handsome. Here we go. Fellows, I present to you Oblivion Remastered. Yeah. And I mean, like, let's do the other way. Just so you can see. Again, it's like, this is important stuff. It's like, it's actual science and education, but while you gaming. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at that. You know when sometimes authors explain a pinched expression on the face? This is it. But this is more like a literal sense of an actual pinched face. I love this. Oh my god, I love this. This is, I mean, this is just quite something. Wow. There, you can bring the eyes back into sight. They were getting lost a little in the folds of the brows. But let's just take it all to the other side and see what happens. That's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It gets better. I mean, are we approaching sort of like a canine look here? I mean, I'm trying to sort of... Bovine? No. No. Am I looking like a bull or a cow? Or so? I cannot put my finger on it, but I look like something. Or nothing. All at the same time. Goodness me. Where did that all just go? We are folding up on ourselves. We are losing ourselves within ourselves. It's like a prolapsed face. Oh no. I'm sorry. Oh no. We've done what we could. I'm sorry. That's as much of the face as we could recover. It's nuts. It's nuts. This is a character that you can actually walk around as in this game. I'm resetting. I'm sorry, I have to do it. Oh, there he is. Good lord. Lost him for a second there. Now, that's it for the sliders. I thank you for joining me. Now, the eyes. Surprise, surprise, you can now use any eyes on any character. Massive, massive change from the original. Oblivion had 3 eye colors. Blue, green, brown on all the characters. This, you've got everything. I mean, there are eye colors that I haven't even heard of here. You can do anything you want. There's all the in-betweens, like the cataracts, like the full eye colors without the whites or pupils or irises or anything like that. It's like kind of weird. They got the demonic eyes over here with black. Your sclera is just like completely demonic and devilishly handsome, actually. I think it looks really nice. And the colors, vibrant. Look at that red. Then you can have bloodshot eyes, which is also quite a nice little touch. That was obviously not there before. And it's just a massive list, right? This just keeps on going. Then you can have this. I don't know what this is. It's like more of a feline eye or something like that, I guess. You can have the completely glazed over ones that reminds me of like the Lalafell from Final Fantasy. Then there are some interesting shapes that you can have here for your pupils. Where again, some of them are what I would call or consider feline, and then others are, well, something much different. You'll see when we get a little lower down, but it just keeps going. There's just so much to choose from here. Bigger, smaller, shorter, taller. As you can see over here, there's some of these that I don't know what these even are, but they're options. There's this, looks sort of like if it was a bit brighter, like you could be the god of thunder or something. I don't know. Then you have these weird color combinations here as well. And I mean, look at the list. Like, we are not even done yet. How is that possible? That's why I'm going so quickly through here, by the way. It's because there's so many. Otherwise, we're going to spend a week on just the eyes. Jeez. Pretty cool, right? And then here's me making goddamn John Oblivion and just putting blue eyes on him. I mean, looks good. The blue eyes look good. They're beautiful. They're piercing in the best possible way. So yeah, needless to say, lots of eye options. For the skin, I'm going to ask that you just sort of conjure up an image of every other race in your mind, because all of this can be applied to the others as well. The skin tint specifically, some of them have alternate slots that you can use, again, specifically like the Khajiit, but this is nuts, and it's an awesome option to put in here. You can make your skin any color you want. You can just do it. Why not? It's a fantasy game, okay? You can just do it. So I'm happy about that. You can be pink if you like. You can go for the sort of more natural tones also, but you can go for green. You can make yourself into a Hulk. That's also a possibility, as you can see right here. Or an orc or Shrek or whatever the hell you want to do, right? And I like that. I like that they gave us this option. It was obviously not a possibility in the original game. Then we have the same sliders from the original game, where it's like this weird afterthought of makeup, where you have like bruises that you can put on, and like it could be sliders that could make you look more tired or less tired. Then there's some blush for the cheeks. You can flush the cheeks as well, blush and flush, and then you can put freckles on, which is just beautiful. We'll leave that on. Then there is actually a makeup section that is slightly different, and I'll show you how. But you know, it's again just sort of you put in the makeup on, and it's obviously gonna, you know, on your female character it'll make more sense, right? But this will also obviously look a little different based on the race that you're on and whatever. And then you can choose an eyeshadow color. You don't get much customization over it, right? So you choose an eyeshadow color, it applies it there, and that's basically that. And I mean, in case you are curious, I can just come over here quickly and show you. It is the same, but obviously on the different races and stuff, keep that in mind, that it could feel a little different. And when you are applying, let's say, some eyeshadow or makeup to an Argonian, it's not going to look quite the same, right? So it's different for the different races, but it's still quite a limited and basic system. And that goes for all of this. It goes for all of this. Again, I feel it's a bit of an afterthought, right? It's not a bad thing. We don't need too much here. It's already such a massive improvement. So that's basically it for the shape and the tone. Now we're going to move on to the hair. And this is actually a section that I only briefly covered before. Now, what I showed you guys before with each of the races was I showed you the different hairstyles, and I showed you what it would look like if you made them longer, right? And I showed you the facial hair as well. Now, for this specifically, I'll go through these quite brief. Like, if you want to look at the hairstyles for each of the races, just go to the race section, and quite soon after I start on that races section, you will see me looking at the hairstyles for that race. So I'm just going quickly through these here, and I'm very briefly showing you what's possible with them. And I'm going to take this one that we had on. I'll pull the length up to the max, and I will also throw some facial hair on here just so that we can complete the look. And I will also just show you once again what the facial hair looks like. I like it. I think that this character looks good with it, and most of the male characters look good with it. And then we're going to move on to the part that I actually want to talk about, is the colors. So for the colors, I believe it was a bit of a downgrade from Oblivion. The remaster, it definitely remastered the way it looks, but they don't give you full RGB control anymore. They give you a palette of colors to pick from here. And this is your root color, this is your tip color, right? The blackest that you can go for here is that. And I mean, I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't know if I've done something wrong. I don't know if and I might have. I'm sorry, because I sometimes just don't pay attention to the things that I should be paying attention to. But that is technically supposed to be the blackest that you can pick. And I don't know if it's maybe the race as well, perhaps. Other races can have darker hair colors, but that's the darkest I can see here. However, on the flip side, there are a lot of other colors here. So if I take the tip color off and I just choose this and I go through these, and you'll see as I get to the slightly lighter ones, I think... No, it looks like we have to have both. Yeah, we have to have both on. So the tip color is the more important one. Let's go with that. There we go. Okay, so as I go through these, you will see the color will change. And the colors are beautiful. Let me just turn the character's mod a little bit. They're beautiful. They look phenomenal. But again, it doesn't seem like they let you go too dark with it. You can change the style and the color a little bit by adding the root colors in as well. The reason that the root color wasn't showing is because I have the gradient amount all the way to the max, I think. Aha! Hold on, I've figured it out. Sort of. How did I swear to God, I just saw some black there. That's a little darker, right? That's almost black. Okay. That's a win. Okay. Complaints almost gone. I'm not about to complain because I see now what I was looking for. But for the hair colors, you can go pretty bright. And I think that this was one of the great things about Oblivion initially, was that they just let you go nuts with the hair, right? They let you go completely nuts with it, and you could just have fun with the colors. And you can sort of do a similar thing in this. And I like that they kept that in. They didn't sort of clamp down on it and say, yo, no. No. So you still have it. It's still here. You can still go for almost every color. You don't get to pick it exactly, but I feel like there's enough here to be able to give you what you're looking for. The primary colors are here, and then most of the in-betweens are here too. So if we wanted to go for, as an example, a beautiful red, and we wanted to throw, let's say, some yellow highlights in there, then I think we'd actually do it the other way around. But then you can shift this around a little bit, and let me just see quickly. I think you should do the yellow here and the red here. There we go. Excellent. Then you can have sort of like a half and half, and it can be quite a beautiful thing. You can really do some nice stuff with it. I fiddled a little bit, and I found that, again, the oranges and the reds are quite nice. With the gradients over here, the contrast on the gradient with the gradient amount, it's a finicky thing where you have to really fiddle around with it a little bit. And you can see I'm struggling with it a little bit, but you have to fiddle around with it a little bit. But if you do manage to get something good here, it can look rather nice. Like I've personally already done something quite nice with blue and green that looked alright, but I used like a paler green like this. It can look beautiful. It can look really cool. The contrast full, and then the amount, I mean, you can shift that around. I feel like with the green coming out of the roots there, it looks kind of cool. Then, if all of this is too much for you, you can go for the darker colors, and then you can also throw some salt and pepper on, which is just it's basically making your hair gray, right? And again, I'm not sure if we put this up. I'm trying to see how to find the blackest color we can get. There we go. And if you throw the salt and pepper on there, it makes your character just look a little... The salt and pepper slider, however, it's kind of weird, because when you get to just one, then it's already kind of almost entirely gray. So it's like kind of pointless. The eyebrows, it's a similar sitch, but they don't let you go for all the colors. They just give you these colors, and that's that. Which is fine. It's totally cool. And as you notice, the beard does change along with the character itself. Then, that does actually bring us to basically the end of the customization portion of this video. What I want to show you now is the overview. What happens here is you just type your name in. It gives you a little picture. It's not really a profile picture of your character, because it's just the profile picture of the race. Tells you your race, your origin, and then your strengths. And it's going to change dynamically based on what you pick. It's including, like, you know, your origin and your race's specialities and strengths. And that's cool. You can also, as I showed before, open up your stats, and you can look at everything that you've got right now here. This is something that's going to change very soon when we jump into the game itself. When we keep going, then we get our birthsigns, we get our classes, and it adds to this. So just know you can look at the overview here, and then once you start from this point on, you jump on, you keep customizing, you keep adding, then when the game proper starts, you've got your full setup ready. Alright, now, as I mentioned, that's the races, that's the customization done. We're going to move on to the birthsigns now. The birthsigns are much the same, especially in presentation. They've just changed the layout a little bit, where you don't have a list anymore, and instead you have these little thumbnails or portraits. I like it. Yeah. First up, we have the warrior. Those born under the sign of the warrior, they benefit from increased strength and endurance. You get 10 points of endurance and 10 points of strength. For the mage, you have an increased amount of magicka. 50 points to be exact. The thief, those born under the sign of the thief, benefit from increased agility, speed, and luck. 10 points to each of them. Those born under the sign of the steed can move faster. You move faster. Your speed's increased by 20 points. Those born under the sign of the apprentice have increased amount of magicka, but are also more susceptible to magical attacks. You can fortify magicka there by 100 points if you pick this. That's quite a lot. But your weakness to magic increases by 100%. So, yeah, you better watch out with that one. Those born under the sign of the shadow can become invisible. You get the moon shadow greater power that grants invisibility for 60 seconds, and it can be used once per day. Those born under the sign of the ritual can heal themselves and make the undead flee in horror. You get blessed word that forces the undead to flee in horror for 30 seconds. It can be used multiple times per day at a cost of 40 magicka per cast. Then you also have Mara's gift. That's another greater power there. This is 200 points of health, but only once per day. Then we have the Atronach. Cannot regenerate magicka, but have the ability to absorb any magic cast at them. So they have 150 points extra magicka. Then they have 50% spell absorption, where they have a 50% chance of absorbing spells cast at them, which will obviously regenerate your magicka. Stunted magicka, the regeneration is halted, so your natural and passive regen is off. Then, those born under the sign of the tower can magically unlock doors and reflect damage from their attackers. Tower key opens locks of average difficulty and can be used once per day. Tower warden, that's a greater power, reflects 5% of all incoming damage for 120 seconds. Can be used once per day. I'm not 100% certain, but I feel like that might be new. I don't know. Then we have the Birthsign of the Lord. They're more resistant to physical and magic damage. They have a shield, increases their armor rating by 15, and resist magic increases their resistances by 15%. The Lady benefits from increased willpower and endurance. You just get 10 points to each of those. Those born under the sign of the Lover can paralyze others. They have Lover's Kiss, a greater power that can paralyze a target for 10 seconds. Reduce the caster's fatigue by 120 points. It can be used once per day. Finally, we have the Serpent. Can poison others, though it comes at the cost of damage in their own fatigue. So Serpent Spell, that's a greater power, deals 3 damage for 20 seconds. It also cures poison, dispels 90 points, and damage fatigue for 100 points to the caster. It can be used once per day. It's a little confusing, the word in there, but yeah, you get the idea of it. Pretty cool. Still a fantastic selection. They didn't really need to change anything here. Speaking of a fantastic selection, what we're going to look at right now is we're going to look at our class. This whole section has been redone a little bit, and in my opinion, it's been cleaned up. I really liked the presentation of the class selection in Oblivion, but I do believe this is clearer, and it makes it a little easier. So they've split everything here. They've got combat, they've got magic, and they've got stealth in their own tabs. Makes a lot of sense like that. And you can just select the class you want and jump into the game right here. You select warrior, and you continue, and you game in. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. If that is not to your liking, you can create a custom class, which we'll look at in just a moment. But for now, and first, let's go through the classes and see what's available. So, in combat, our first choice is warrior. They specialize in combat. Their favorite attributes are strength and endurance. The way this works is those train faster. You get quicker levels in those skills. I'm going to mention here at the start, along with that this is an Elder Scrolls game. So the way this works is always that even if you pick warrior, you can still go magic. You can still do whatever it is you like. This is just like a kickstart in the direction that you want to go in. Keep that in mind. That's the Elder Scrolls way. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, for warrior, specializing in combat, favorite attributes, strength and endurance. Their major skills are armor, athletics, blade, block, blunt, hand-to-hand, and heavy armor. Barbarian, they specialize in combat as well. All of these do. Their favorite attributes are speed and strength. Their skills are armor, athletics, blade, block, blunt, hand-to-hand, and light armor. The Crusader specializes in combat, much like the others in this tab. Strength and willpower are their two choices. Athletics, blade, blunt, destruction, hand-to-hand, heavy armor, and restoration. I kind of like that combo. The Knight, favorite attributes, strength, and personality. They go for blade, block, blunt, hand-to-hand, heavy armor, illusion, and speechcraft, so they're the charming one. Then we have the Archer over here, which is, it's always interesting for me to see the Archer here. This is like a warrior Archer, not a sneaky stealth Archer. You're in the wrong place if you're looking for that. They favor agility and strength. Their major skills are armorer, blade, blunt, hand-to-hand, light armor, marksman, and sneak. Pretty cool. Scout. They just sniff in the flowers. I love that, man. What a cool piece of art. Their favorite attributes are speed and endurance. Their major skills are acrobatics, alchemy, armor, athletics, blade, block, and light armor. And then finally here we have rogue. This is like the combat thief, basically. They have speed and personality. Their major skills are alchemy, athletics, blade, block, illusion, light armor, and mercantile. This is a good selection. I gravitate towards the archer. I always do. But in the magic tab, here we have our first choice, the mage. Specialization, obviously magic. Intelligence and willpower, their favorite attributes. Their major skills are alchemy, alteration, conjuration, destruction, illusion, mysticism, and restoration. Basically every field of magic that you can think of. Then the sorcerer. You can see what's different about them immediately. They still specialize in magic. Their favored attributes, however, are intelligence and endurance. They have alchemy, alteration, conjuration, destruction, heavy armor, mysticism, and restoration. Then we have the battle mage. Once again, magic. Favorite attributes, strength and intelligence. They cast, but they also attack. Major skills are alchemy, alteration, blade, blunt, conjuration, destruction, and mysticism. The healer. Their favorite attributes are personality and willpower. They have alchemy, alteration, destruction, illusion, mercantile, restoration, and speechcraft. The spell sword is willpower and endurance. They have alteration, blade, block, destruction, heavy armor, illusion, and restoration. The witch hunter is specialized in magic as well. They favor intelligence and agility. They have major skills, alchemy, athletics, conjuration, destruction, marksman, mysticism, and security. Then finally we have the Nightblade over here. Also, as the others, specializes in magic. Their favorite attributes are willpower and speed. Major skills are acrobatics, alteration, athletics, blade, destruction, light armor, and restoration. That's it for the magic tab. Let's move on to our stealth characters. So, first up we have the thief. It's probably my favorite of the bunch here. They have speed and agility. Their major skills are acrobatics, light armor, marksman, mercantile, security, sneak, and speechcraft. Pretty cool. Fantastic selection. The agent has favorite attributes of personality and agility. Their major skills are acrobatics, illusion, marksman, mercantile, security, sneak, and speechcraft. The acrobat favors agility and endurance. Their major skills are acrobatics, blade, block, marksman, security, sneak, speechcraft. You can see marksman is in each and every single one of these. Then we have the assassin. They favor speed and intelligence. I love how the picture of the character here gives you an idea. They're like jumping through a portal and shooting their bow. It's like, hey, magic and bows. Gotcha. Acrobatics, alchemy, blade, light armor, marksman, security, and sneak. And I mean, yeah, the speed and intelligence just makes sense there. For the monk, we have favorite attributes of agility and willpower. Their major skills are acrobatics, alteration, athletics, hand-to-hand, marksman, security, and sneak. For the pilgrim, we have favorite attributes of personality and endurance. Their major skills are armorer, block, blunt, light armor, mercantile, security, and speechcraft. And then finally, the bard is what you expect it to be. Personality and intelligence with alchemy, blade, block, illusion, light armor, mercantile, and speechcraft. Now, if somehow one of those doesn't work for you, there's the custom class section. What you do when you come in here is you first pick your specialization. All 7 skills of your specialization receive an initial +5 level bonus, and they increase more rapidly. Right? So, you pick combat, you pick magic, you pick stealth. I'm going to pick stealth because it's the way. Then we move on to attributes. Then you can get a quick rundown of the attributes over here, and you can see what they're good for. You get to pick your favorites, which is just 2 of them, much like you saw on the other classes, and then you move on. So, strength affects the amount of damage you deal with longswords, claymores, maces, war axes, battle axes, warhammers, and your bare hands. It defines how much you can carry and slightly increases your maximum health. Way more detailed description than we had in Oblivion, by the way, which I really like. Intelligence determines your maximum magicka, allowing you to cast more powerful spells. Willpower determines how quickly you regenerate magicka, greatly increasing your maximum fatigue. Agility is how much damage you deal with daggers, short swords, and bows. It slightly increases your maximum fatigue and defines how quickly you regenerate fatigue. Speed is just how fast you move. Endurance greatly increases your maximum health and defines how quickly you regenerate health out of combat. Personality is how much people like you, leading to better information gathering and better trade deals. And finally, luck affects all your skills. It has an effect on everything you do. So for me, I'd go agility and speed. It's what I do. It's I know I'm making a character for us. All right. I know what we want. The internet in general. I don't know if it's just like a millennial thing, but this is what we do. We make stealth archers. Okay, that's what we do. Now, for the abilities, you choose your major skills here. They receive 20 level bonuses to them, and they increase much more rapidly than the ones you didn't pick as your primaries. You can still level the other ones. Keep that in mind. For the combat skills, we have armor over here. It's your ability to maintain weapons and armor at maximum efficiency. That's a pretty useful one. Athletics is how fast you can run, swim, and sprint, which is new, by the way. You couldn't sprint before. Blade is how much damage you deal with bladed weapons. Block is how much damage you mitigate when blocking an attack. Blunt is blunt weapons. Hand-to-hand is bare hand fighting. And heavy armor is just your ability to use heavy armor. So over here, I would probably take athletics. I like athletics. It's pretty cool. Then we'll jump on to magic. Same as the others, except obviously a different selection of skills. Alchemy is your ability to create potions and obtain greater benefits from alchemical ingredients. Alteration, this is the first of the magical schools. Cast spells to breathe or walk on water, open locks, reduce encumbrance, and shield yourself from physical and magical damage. Conjuration is your ability to summon creatures, weapons, and armor, and turn the undead. Destruction affects your ability to cast spells to inflict elemental damage and weaken your opponents. That's the good stuff. Illusion is actually also quite fun. It's your ability to cast spells to charm, conceal, create light, silence, paralyze, command, and affect aggressivity. I didn't even know that was a word. Mysticism affects your ability to cast spells to absorb magic, reflect damage, dispel, move objects, sense life, reveal paths, and bind souls. And then finally, restoration. You know this one. Restore, fortify, and absorb attributes, cure diseases, and improve resistances. And also, obviously, heal. Pretty cool. Then finally, our stealth abilities. Acrobatics is your ability to jump higher and withstand falls. Light armor is your ability to use light armor more effectively. Marksman is how much damage you deal with bows. Mercantile is better deals when you're buying or selling goods. Security is lockpicks. That's what it is. Sneak is your ability to move unseen and unheard by observers. It's also your odds of getting away when pickpocketing. And finally, speechcraft is your ability to persuade listeners to like and trust you. So if I was to make a character, I would pick basically these ones over here. And to be perfectly honest, I would have a blast with it. I'd throw those together. And by the way, I love the fact that they just default this to Adventurer, because it's just a fantastic name. You can give your class a custom name. I just leave it as Adventurer, because Adventurer, yeah, that is an excellent name for a class. So when you've done that, there's your Adventurer, there's the exact setup that you wanted, and you are good to go. There you are. I love it. This system, so the birthsigns, the class customization and selection, stuff like that, it is almost exactly the same. There was nothing wrong with it before. It was great. So I've really got nothing further to add. That does, however, bring us to the end of this video. Now, I'm going to say right here before I even start properly on the outro, if you'd like to see the custom creations, just keep watching. It'll be after the outro. You can check them out and enjoy. But for the game itself, I will just say that the whole remaster has been a treat. It came out of nowhere. It shocked me, it stunned me, and I love it. It looks fantastic. They have managed to make it feel brand new, vastly improved, but they've most definitely kept a whole lot of the Oblivion charm that we know and love. The models, the detail on them, it's just insane. It's nuts. The clear winners to me are the non-human races, the Argonians and the Khajiit, and maybe even the Orcs. They look so much better. It still takes some mastery to mold your character into what you want, but that is part of the fun. I feel, at least. I will also add that the entire introduction experience that seamlessly leads you through character creation and customization is just gold standard stuff. Always has been, probably always will be. I love it. The whole remaster reeks of love and attention and care, and we are blessed to live in a timeline that received it. That's it. I'm done. I absolutely want to hear what you guys think. Whether or not you jumping in to give it a go. Did you manage to make a decent looking character? Did you enjoy the changes? Let me know. Also, let me know which other game you'd like to see remastered. Man, there are so many possibilities. Now that we've had this happen. Oof. Oof. Okay, give this video a like, share it, and do all that other good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. While you're down there, you can check out my Coffee page and my Twitch channel. And that's it. Happy creating those characters, dudes. Happy that.